Okay, imagine a small town, not too far from the big city, but still quiet enough to hear crickets at night. This town had a tiny airport, mostly used by people flying in for business or vacation. Right next to the airport lived a young boy named Michael. Michael was a whirlwind of energy and curiosity. He had bright, inquisitive eyes and a smile that could light up a room. Michael loved airplanes. Not just any airplanes, but all airplanes. Big ones, small ones, loud ones, even the quiet ones. He knew the different makes and models, the way they sounded when they took off, and how the sunlight glinted off their wings. He would spend hours sitting on his porch watching them come and go. He lived with his grandmother, a kind woman with a warm heart and a gentle voice. She always encouraged Michael's passions, even if it meant listening to airplane noises all day long. She knew he was a special boy, with a keen eye for detail and a strong sense of what was right and wrong. Michael's fascination wasn't just a passing interest. It was a deep, almost mystical connection. He didn't just see metal birds. He saw stories in the sky. He imagined where each plane was going, who was on board, and what adventures awaited them. He knew the rumbling roar of a Cessna was different from the powerful thrust of a Learjet. He could almost feel the vibrations in the air as they soared overhead. He collected pictures of airplanes, drew them in his notebooks, and even built small models out of cardboard boxes. His grandmother would often find him lying on the grass, gazing up at the sky, his eyes following the planes until they disappeared into the clouds. She'd smile, knowing that his imagination was taking him to far-off lands. Sometimes, pilots would wave to him as they taxied down the runway. Michael would beam, feeling like he was part of their world, a silent observer of their incredible journeys. He dreamed of being a pilot himself one day, soaring through the sky and seeing the world from above. For now, though, he was content to be the boy who knew everything about airplanes, the boy who could tell you the make and model just by the sound of its engine. One sunny afternoon, a sleek, silver airplane landed at the small airport. It was unlike any plane Michael had ever seen before. It was bigger, shinier, and looked much more expensive. A hush fell over the small crowd that had gathered to watch it land. Out stepped Mr. Harrison. He was a tall man, dressed in a sharp suit, with slicked-back hair and a serious expression. He carried a briefcase and walked with an air of importance. Michael watched him, intrigued. He could tell this man was someone special, someone important. Mr. Harrison didn't smile or wave like the other passengers. He simply nodded to the pilot and headed towards a waiting black car. He looked every bit the millionaire, a man used to getting what he wanted. Michael wondered what brought him to their small town. Was it business? Was it pleasure? Whatever it was, Michael knew this visit was going to be different. This wasn't just another plane landing. This was the arrival of someone who would change everything. A few days later, before the sun peeked over the horizon, Michael was already awake. He often woke up early to watch the sunrise and listen to the birds sing. This morning, he decided to take a walk near the airport. As he approached Mr. Harrison's plane, he noticed something strange. Two men, dressed in dark clothing, were huddled around the plane's engine. They seemed to be working on something, but their movements were hurried and secretive. Michael couldn't see exactly what they were doing, but he noticed one of them using a wrench and the other fiddling with some wires. They didn't look like mechanics. They didn't have any tools lying around, and they kept looking around nervously, as if they were afraid of being caught. Michael's heart started to pound. He knew something wasn't right. He had seen mechanics working on planes before, and this was different. This felt wrong. Very wrong. He decided to watch them carefully, his young mind trying to figure out what was going on. Michael's mind raced. He didn't know exactly what the men were doing, but he knew it couldn't be good. Sabotage. The word flashed in his mind, a word he'd heard on TV, a word that meant something dangerous and destructive. He felt a knot of fear tighten in his stomach. Should he tell someone? But who would believe him? He was just a kid. Would they think he was making it up? What if the men saw him and tried to hurt him? He thought about Mr. Harrison, the important-looking man who had arrived in the fancy plane. What if those men were trying to hurt him? What if they were trying to make the plane crash? The thought made his blood run cold. He had to do something. He couldn't just stand there and watch. But what? He was just one small boy against two grown men. He felt small and helpless, but he knew he couldn't ignore what he had seen. He had to find a way to help. The weight of responsibility settled heavily on his young shoulders. Time seemed to slow down. Michael watched as the two men finished their work and hurried away, disappearing into the nearby woods. He knew he had to act fast. Mr. Harrison would be arriving soon to board his plane. He took a deep breath, trying to calm his racing heart. He knew he couldn't go to the police. There wasn't enough time. He had to warn Mr. Harrison himself. It was a scary thought, approaching a grown man he didn't know and accusing someone of sabotage. But he couldn't live with himself if he didn't try. He started running towards the airport terminal, his legs pumping as fast as they could. He could see Mr. Harrison getting out of his car, his briefcase in hand. This was it. He had to overcome his fear and do what was right. He had to save Mr. Harrison. He ran faster, his heart pounding in his chest like a drum. He knew this was the most important thing he had ever done in his life. He burst through the doors of the terminal, his breath coming in ragged gasps. Mr. Harrison was just about to walk onto the tarmac towards his plane. "Mr. Harrison! Mr. Harrison!" Michael yelled, his voice cracking with desperation. He ran towards the gate, dodging startled passengers. Mr. Harrison stopped and turned, a look of annoyance on his face. He clearly wasn't used to being interrupted, especially by a young boy. He frowned, waiting for Michael to reach him. Michael finally reached the gate, his chest heaving. He pointed towards the plane, his eyes wide with fear and urgency. He had to make Mr. Harrison understand. This was life or death. He took another deep breath and shouted as loud as he could, "Your plane was sabotaged. Don't fly." The words echoed across the tarmac, silencing the sounds of the airport. All eyes turned to Michael and Mr. Harrison. The moment hung in the air, thick with tension. Mr. Harrison stared at Michael, his face a mask of disbelief. He was a powerful man, used to being in control, and this unexpected interruption by a frantic young boy was unsettling. His first instinct was to dismiss it as a childish prank. "Sabotaged?" he repeated, his voice laced with skepticism. "What are you talking about, son? Who would sabotage my plane?" He looked around at the other passengers, a mixture of amusement and concern on their faces. He didn't want to cause a scene, but he also couldn't ignore the genuine fear in Michael's eyes. There was something about the boy's intensity, the way he was trembling, that made Mr. Harrison pause. He studied Michael's face, searching for any sign of deceit. He saw none. Only pure, unadulterated fear and a desperate plea for him to believe. Despite his initial disbelief, a seed of doubt began to grow in Mr. Harrison's mind. What if the boy was telling the truth? What if his life was in danger? He decided to take a chance. "All right," he said, his voice firm. "Let's take a look." Mr. Harrison, followed by a small group of curious onlookers, walked towards his plane. He signaled to his pilot and the airport mechanics to join him. He explained Michael's warning, trying to keep his voice calm and rational, despite the growing unease he felt. The mechanics immediately began to inspect the plane's engine, their faces serious and focused. Michael watched anxiously, pointing to the area where he had seen the two men working. The mechanics carefully examined the wires and the fuel lines, their movements precise and deliberate. After a few minutes, one of the mechanics straightened up, his face grim. "Mr. Harrison," he said, his voice low, "the boy is right. Someone has tampered with the fuel line. It looks like they were trying to make it fail during flight." A gasp went through the crowd. Mr. Harrison stared at the mechanic, his face pale. He couldn't believe it. Someone had actually tried to sabotage his plane. He turned to Michael, his eyes filled with gratitude. The boy had saved his life. Mr. Harrison knelt down, placing a hand on Michael's shoulder. "Young man," he said, his voice thick with emotion, "you saved my life. I don't know why someone would want to hurt me, but you stopped them. I am in your debt." He stood up and addressed the crowd. "This young man is a hero. He saw something suspicious and he acted. He could have stayed silent, but he didn't. He risked his own safety to warn me, and I will never forget it. He turned back to Michael, a genuine smile on his face. "What's your name, son?" "Michael," he replied, his voice still trembling slightly. "Michael," Mr. Harrison said, "I want to thank you properly. I want to do something to show you how grateful I am. Is there anything you want? Anything at all?" He paused, considering. "You name it." Mr. Harrison's gratitude was immense, and he wanted to express it in a meaningful way. Michael had given him the gift of life, and he intended to repay that gift in any way he could. News of Michael's bravery spread like wildfire through the small town. He became an instant celebrity. People stopped him on the street to shake his hand and thank him. The local newspaper ran a front-page story with the headline, "Local Boy Saves Millionaire from Certain Death." His grandmother was incredibly proud. She hugged him tightly and told him how brave and special he was. She knew he had always had a good heart, but she was amazed by his courage. The mayor of the town presented Michael with a Medal of Honor at a special ceremony. Everyone applauded as Michael shyly accepted the award. He didn't feel like a hero. He just felt like he had done the right thing. But he was happy that he had made a difference. He was happy that he had saved Mr. Harrison's life. And he was excited to see what the future held. Little did he know, his life was about to change in ways he could never have imagined. The small-town airport was about to become the launchpad for his dreams. Mr. Harrison kept his promise. He visited Michael and his grandmother the very next day. He sat down with them in their small living room and talked about Michael's future. "Michael," he said, "you're a bright young man, and you deserve every opportunity to succeed. I want to help you achieve your dreams." He then outlined his plans. First, he would pay for Michael to have the best tutors, helping him excel in school. Second, he offered to take Michael on trips, showing him the world and exposing him to new experiences. Finally, he wanted to help Michael explore his passion for airplanes, perhaps even helping him learn to fly. Michael's eyes widened with each offer. He couldn't believe his ears. It was like something out of a dream. His grandmother smiled, tears welling up in her eyes. She knew this was the chance of a lifetime for Michael. Mr. Harrison was giving him the tools to build a better future, a future filled with endless possibilities. It was more than they could have ever hoped for. Michael's life was transformed. With the help of his tutors, he excelled in school, discovering a love for subjects he had never considered before. Math, science, history, they all became fascinating to him. He devoured books, eager to learn everything he could. The travels were even more incredible. He saw the Eiffel Tower in Paris, the Great Wall of China, and the pyramids of Egypt. He learned about different cultures, tasted exotic foods, and made friends from all over the world. And, of course, he got to spend time around airplanes. He visited airplane factories, air shows, and even got to sit in the cockpit of a real jet. Mr. Harrison arranged for him to take flying lessons, and Michael discovered he had a natural talent for it. He soared through the sky, feeling free and alive. His dream of becoming a pilot was finally within reach. He was no longer just the boy who watched airplanes, he was becoming a pilot himself. The sky was the limit. But more than just opportunities, Michael and Mr. Harrison developed a strong friendship. They were an unlikely pair, the wealthy businessman and the small-town boy, but they connected on a deeper level. Mr. Harrison saw in Michael a spark of kindness and courage that reminded him of his younger self. Michael, in turn, saw in Mr. Harrison a mentor, a guide, and a friend who believed in him. They spent hours talking, sharing stories, and learning from each other. Mr. Harrison taught Michael about business and finance, while Michael taught Mr. Harrison about the importance of community and giving back. They challenged each other, supported each other, and became each other's biggest fans. Mr. Harrison even learned to appreciate the simple things in life, like watching the sunset from Michael's porch or listening to the sounds of the airplanes taking off and landing. Michael, in turn, learned to dream bigger, to believe in himself, and to never give up on his goals. Their friendship was a testament to the power of kindness and the unexpected connections that can change our lives. proved that friendship can blossom in the most unexpected places. Years passed. Michael continued to work hard, fueled by his dreams and Mr. Harrison's unwavering support. He excelled in his flying lessons, earning his pilot's license at a young age. He went on to study aerospace engineering in college, determined to design and build even better airplanes. He never forgot where he came from. He visited his grandmother often, spending time with her on the porch, watching the planes take off and land. He also stayed in touch with the people in his town, always remembering their kindness and support. Michael knew he could achieve anything he set his mind to. He had faced his fears, saved a life, and earned the friendship of an incredible man. He was confident, driven, and determined to make a difference in the world. His future stretched before him, filled with endless possibilities. He was ready to take on any challenge, to soar to new heights, and to make his dreams a reality. He was a pilot, an engineer, a friend, and a hero, and he knew that his journey had just begun. The story of Michael's courage holds a powerful lesson for us all. It shows us that even the smallest act of bravery can have a ripple effect, changing not only our own lives but the lives of others as well. It teaches us that it's important to pay attention to the world around us, to notice when something isn't right, and to speak up, even when it's scary. It reminds us that age doesn't matter, that anyone, no matter how young or old, can make a difference. And it shows us the power of kindness and gratitude. Mr. Harrison's gratitude towards Michael transformed both of their lives, creating a bond that lasted for years. It reminds us that a simple act of kindness can have a lasting impact, creating opportunities and changing the course of destiny. So, the next time you see something wrong, remember Michael's story. Remember his courage, his kindness, and his determination. And remember that you, too, have the power to change the world, one act of bravery at a time. Don't be afraid to speak up. Don't be afraid to act. You never know whose life you might save. Now, imagine Michael as an adult. He's standing on the runway of a large airport, a sleek, modern jet gleaming behind him. He's a successful aerospace engineer, just as he dreamed. He's designed and built some of the most innovative airplanes in the world. But as he looks at the plane, his mind drifts back to that small-town airport, to the day he saw those men tampering with Mr. Harrison's plane. He remembers the fear, the uncertainty, and the courage it took to speak up. He smiles, knowing that that one moment changed the course of his life. It wasn't just about saving Mr. Harrison. It was about discovering his own potential, his own strength, and his own ability to make a difference. He closes his eyes for a moment, reliving the memory, feeling the same surge of adrenaline, the same sense of purpose. And he knows that he will never forget that day, that he will always be grateful for the opportunity to have saved a life and to have found his own. He opens his eyes, a renewed sense of determination in his gaze. It's time to get back to work, to continue pushing the boundaries of what's possible, to continue making the world a better place, one airplane at a time. Inspired by Mr. Harrison's generosity, Michael dedicated his time and resources to helping other young people achieve their dreams. He established a foundation that provided scholarships, mentorship programs, and access to educational resources for underprivileged children. He visited schools, sharing his story and encouraging students to pursue their passions, no matter how big or small. He reminded them that anything is possible if they believe in themselves and work hard. He told them that their backgrounds didn't define them, that their dreams were within reach. He became a role model for countless young people, showing them that success wasn't just about money or fame, but about making a positive impact on the world. He taught them the importance of kindness, compassion, and giving back to their communities. He never forgot the small town where he grew up. He invested in local businesses, supported community initiatives, and created job opportunities for the residents. He wanted to give back to the place that had given him so much. He was determined to make his community a better place, a place where every child had the opportunity to thrive. His life had come full circle, from being the boy who needed help to being the man who provided it. Mr. Harrison continued to be a constant presence in Michael's life, a steadfast supporter and a cherished friend. He witnessed Michael's success with immense pride, knowing that he had played a part in shaping such an extraordinary young man. He, too, dedicated his time and resources to supporting Michael's foundation, becoming a vocal advocate for youth education and empowerment. He spoke at conferences, sharing Michael's story and inspiring others to invest in the potential of young people. He often said that saving Michael's life had been the best investment he had ever made. He knew that Michael's impact on the world would far outlast his own, and he was honored to be a part of his journey. Even as he grew older, Mr. Harrison remained active and engaged, always looking for ways to support Michael and his work. He knew that the world needed more young people like Michael, young people who were brave, kind, and determined to make a difference. And he was committed to doing everything he could to help them succeed. His legacy wasn't just about wealth and success. It was about kindness, generosity, and the power of human connection. It was about the ripple effect of one small act of courage. The story of Michael and Mr. Harrison is a reminder that courage, kindness, and believing in yourself can truly change the world. It's a story about how one small act of bravery can have a ripple effect, transforming not only individual lives but entire communities. It's a story that celebrates the power of human connection, showing us that friendship can blossom in the most unexpected places, and that even the most unlikely of pairs can learn from each other and make a difference together. It's a story that inspires us to look beyond our own circumstances, to reach out to those in need, and to give back to our communities. It reminds us that success isn't just about personal achievement, but about making a positive impact on the world. And most importantly, it's a story that encourages us to believe in ourselves, to dream big, and to never give up on our goals. It shows us that anything is possible if we have the courage to pursue our passions and the kindness to help others along the way. So, let this story be a beacon of hope, a reminder that each and every one of us has the power to make a difference. The world is waiting for your act of courage. And so, the tale of the black boy who saved a millionaire by shouting, "Your plane was sabotaged, don't fly," becomes more than just a story. It becomes a legend, a testament to the power of a single voice, a single act of courage, a single moment of kindness. It's a story told and retold, whispered in classrooms and shouted from rooftops. It's a story that inspires children to look beyond their limitations and believe in their potential. It's a story that reminds adults to never underestimate the power of a child's intuition and to always listen to their voices. It's a story that celebrates the unlikely friendships that can change our lives and the importance of giving back to our communities. It's a story that proves that anything is possible when we combine courage, kindness, and an unwavering belief in ourselves. And it's a story that will continue to resonate for generations to come. A timeless reminder that even the smallest among us can make the biggest difference. So remember Michael, remember Mr. Harrison, and remember the power within you to change the world.